Hello, everybody. This is episode 2. Maybe this will help with Oswald St. Oswald. I would like to talk to you today about something that's very important. I think probably the most important thing for happiness and for energy levels, if you're not a meditator yet or anything. This is a very good starting point, and you'll see results almost immediately, within 2-3 days. The first thing is food. What kind of food are you eating? Because there's a kind of food out there that's way better for you, and it's called a whole food. And that simply just means it came from the earth. It grew naturally. It's a complete food. It was the way nature intended it. Nature, whether it's an animal or not, that's different. But it's that even meat is a whole food. It's in its natural state. It wasn't broken down with chemicals. It wasn't rearranged. It's a whole natural food. And when you eat these foods, your body knows what to do with them. Processed food has only been around for 60, 70 years. Our bodies hasn't even figured out how to do it yet. And a lot of this stuff is poison. Sugar is poison to us, especially refined white sugar. To eat a honey or an agave nectar or something like that is a way better sugar to consume. Fruits, you can get more sugar in a pineapple than a pop, but the pineapple, it doesn't do the same thing to your body. Pop kills it. It's literally poison, and it's crazy that it's even sold in as many places as it is, because it's a drug and it's poison. So why, you tell me why that's not regulated. But now you guys know, if you're against cigarettes, then you should be against sugar. Also bacon, class 2 carcinogen, same as cigarettes. So that's just a little bit about food. Like I said, you'll notice within 2 or 3 days of switching to whole foods, a difference in your energy level and your happiness. Just by, when you have lots of energy, it's a lot easier to be happy. You let things bug you less, you're less angry. I experienced that today, actually, and I've been eating clean for a week and a half. I've been zipping along, lots of energy, really happy. I was a little bit lax on my breakfast this morning. I got out, I didn't have any food. I broke down, I had a little bit of french fries and a stuffed mushroom or two, and I was yawning and almost asleep when I got home. I almost didn't even do this video. One more thing about food before I go on to how to eat it and how our body works is micro and macronutrients. Everybody says, as a vegetarian, trying to be a vegan, everybody says, how are you going to get your protein? Well, the funny thing about protein is, one, it exists in a bunch of stuff. Beans, nuts, legumes are just packed full of it. But what I've recently discovered from a website called Chronometer, CRONO meter.com, it's free. You have to weigh your food and plug it in, but you can see all your micronutrients and what food gives you which. And what I realized is protein, you can buy protein powder and you're not getting all your micronutrients, and those are really important. There's 9 different ones in a protein. There's 9 different micronutrients. One of those micronutrients is called tryptophan. You may have heard about that in turkey. It allows your body to produce its own melatonin, which allows you to relax better before sleep and relax better during sleep. You'll wake up feeling more refreshed. It's a protein and it's crucial. There's also one called tyrosene. And tyrosene is a precursor for serotonin. And serotonin is a happy drug. For those of you who don't know, it's a happy drug that our body produces. And most of it is produced in our guts. We don't really realize that, but it's true. Most of serotonin, which is our main happiness drug, is produced in our guts. So unhappy gut, unhappy you. The next thing about that is that you are what you eat. I listened to a Joe Rogan podcast recently where he was talking about how they hunt black bears in the spring or the fall when all the blueberries are ripe, because the bears are gorging on blueberries. And then they hunt them and the fat is pure purple and the meat is way tender. And I realized, wow, you truly are whatever you're eating at the time. That's what your entire body is made up of. And that's insane. In grade 10, I ate KFC every day for lunch, and I smelled like KFC, and now I understand. So if you're eating garbage, you're made up of garbage, you're sweating garbage, and we're going to get into that a little bit more in the next segment, but that is something that everybody needs to know, and I'm not sure why they don't teach us that in school. So the next thing is, I've been reading this book called Hatha Yoga, and it's by Yogi Ramacharaka or something. If you'd like to find out about this book, I will put it in the comments below, or you can just message me about it. I can send you a picture. It's a really good book, and it puts things in such a way that you feel really silly almost to not do these basic things I'm about to talk about. One thing about, before I talk about these basic things that I'd really like you guys to remember when watching this is you're going to feel inspired probably to do this, and then it's going to go in waves. You're going to do it, you're not going to do it, you're going to do it, you're not going to do it. The most important thing is you're trying. So accept yourself, love yourself for that. If you screw up, that's fine. Just accept it, move on, and keep trying harder. Notice how you feel. Like I said today, I ate those mushrooms, I felt pretty crappy. It's probably going to be a long time before I eat a stuffed mushroom again because I've attached this really good feeling to this really good food eating, and when I eat this really bad food, I'm yawning and I don't even want to do my videos. So the next thing is, our bodies love us. We're connected to source energy or God. They're highly intelligent, and they are just constantly healing us and regenerating us and doing all these things for us without us even having to think about it. It's really an amazing thing, and we should be perfectly healthy. But because we cram so much stuff in our body that's wrong for it, our body can't heal us fast enough, and that's where all of these diseases come from, and dis-ease. Just general unhappiness, dis-ease, or an actual disease. These diseases come from cell groups rebelling against you. Your body has had to scrimp and save on resources for so long that certain cell groups felt underappreciated and they started doing their own thing. It's really not good. There's over 1 billion cells in our body. We have over, let me see this number here. It is 75,000 million just red blood cells that all need nourishment, they need guidance, they need the love of us. We have to take care of our body. Our body is the temple of our soul. Our souls are eternal, but our body we need it to get through this life and learn and exist and be happy in this world. So, in order to keep all these cells from rebelling against you, you have to eat properly. And the very first step of this is chewing your food. Something that I've never done. In this book they say bolting your food, wolfing your food down, chowing, whatever it is. We don't chew enough. We just get it in us. But we're not birds. We don't have gizzards. So when we wolf our food down, it just sits in chunks in our stomach and it ferments. And it doesn't break down the way it's supposed to. So we chew our food. We have teeth and we have saliva glands on purpose. And it's the very first step in digestion. And if we don't do that, we skipped the first step of digestion. So now we're not even going to get most of the nutrients of the food that we did eat. The thing about chewing your food that I realized is when you slow down and make sure that you chew your food into a nice fine paste, if you pay attention, every single bite is different. Every single chew down, you can put a few different morsels of stuff in it. If you're eating a nice salad or something, with maybe some tofu in it or something, nuts. You get the nuts, the tofu, salad bite, and you bite down once, and then you go, oh, maybe I don't want some nuts. So you're moving around with your tongue, and you bite on the other side, and you just get a little tofu and lettuce. It's a completely different bite every time. And I also realized breathing in while you chew adds a lot of flavor to your food, and that's also really good for your digestion, which we're going to get into in about 2 more steps. That's a lot of 2s I put up today. So you chew your food. You chew it all the way through until it's a nice fine paste. You've mixed it well with the saliva, and then you swallow it down, and it goes into your stomach. And now, I touched on it before. When you when food goes into your stomach like that, your bile and the other stomach juices, I think one's called pepsid or peptin or something like that, peptin I believe, it has a very easy job. The saliva's already mixed it, it just has to mix it properly, break it down, and then it's ready to move on. But if you don't chew your food, then when you swallow it, all that undigested food just keeps turning and rotting in your stomach and fermenting. And then by the time the matter makes it to the small intestine, which is the next step, it's rotten. You're getting rotten nutrient juice pumped into your small intestine. Now, food goes into the small intestine and gets absorbed into the body, into the bloodstream from there. So, if you chew your food properly, goes into the stomach, it goes quickly into the small intestine, properly mixed, you get the maximum amount of nutrient and no fermentation. Whereas if you've got food from last night left over, it's crappy, not even whole food, you got a McDonald's burger in there, it's just rotting in there, rolling in your stomach, and then you've got that juice going into every single of your billion cells in your body. That's what's nourishing your billion cells, is this rotting, fermented, not even real food juice. So after it goes into your blood cells, after it absorbs in your bloodstream, that's pretty self-explanatory. It gets pumped throughout your body. It nourishes every point, which is why it's really important to make sure that you eat enough food in a day and get all your micronutrients and get the best quality food you can, because it's going all over your body. It's running everything, your brain, your heart, your lungs, all of these really vital organs. And if you don't eat enough or you eat really bad food, you don't have enough energy, resource for all of it. So your brain has to pick and choose who it's going to give it to, and some stuff suffers and some stuff doesn't. So it goes through your blood. An important part of your blood's health is breathing. This is something that I just learned a couple weeks ago, and since I've started to do it, it's really changed everything. So there's 3 kinds of breath. There's the high breath, where you breathe shallow and it only fills up the top of your lungs. There's the mid breath, where you only fill up the top of your lungs and the middle of your lungs, but your deep lungs don't ever get any air. And then there's the deep breath, which fills up the bottom of your lungs, but it doesn't fill up the top of your lungs. What you want to do at least 15 minutes a day is do a complete breath, where you fill up you expand the diaphragm comes in, and you puff up the chest, and you fill it all in, hold it for a couple seconds, breathe out your mouth. I had a really hard time doing this the first couple of days, but now I'm finding when I'm eating, I'm chewing slower without having to be conscious of it. The more conscious you can be of everything you're doing, the better, but without even being conscious, I'm noticing myself chewing slower and taking deep breaths more and taking deep breaths while I'm chewing. All very important. The lungs oxygenate the blood. If you don't properly oxygenate the blood, it's the same as the food fermenting in the stomach. Your blood doesn't get rid of all of the bad stuff in it, and slowly you get more unhealthy, worse blood, full of waste that was supposed to be cleared. But because of our bad habits that we've developed through civilization and the easiness that it's becoming, we've gotten away from that. And it's really, really important to breathe properly, to chew properly, and to swallow properly. And like I said, this will increase your energy level within 2 to 3 days. And if you can stay disciplined on it, it won't go away. It's quite incredible. There's a few more things I want to touch on about the body that stems, again, from us not taking care of it for so long and being lied to by these food industries, saying that they're giving us food when really they're putting a bunch of different kinds of poison onto something that's really salty and sugary and tastes good. It's some of my favorite foods still. Although once you get onto the whole foods, that food tastes different. It's more of a mental addiction to it than it is like a taste and feel addiction. So that's neat. But the colon, for those of you who don't know, that's the very end of our digestive tract, right before the butthole. And when not properly, when you don't chew properly, more waste goes through, you have more fecal matter, and you'll get a buildup in your colon. and that's toxic. Your colon is very sensitive. It's very connected to the bloodstream, and I don't know if you've ever heard of the kids that died from just putting a little bit of alcohol in their butt because they could get way more drunk off it. If you have poop in there, you're having your rotten food that's supposed to be expelled from your body absorbing into your bloodstream constantly. This will give you foul mouth, cotton breath, or foul breath, cotton mouth, liver problems, and just general lethargicism and loss of energy. There's ways to get rid of this. There's homemade enema kits. I haven't done this. There's enemas outside. In the book, they talk about how the ibis bird from ancient Egypt used to just put a little bit of water in its butt every day, and when it would get blocked up and it would all fly out, and it would be weak when it landed and started doing that, and then it would fly away strong almost immediately. It's a pretty cool thing. So anyways, the colon is crazy. You need to keep that thing clean. If you haven't been eating clean, it's probably broken up, but once you clean it out, if you just get your normal fiber and you eat good foods, you will be fine. The last thing on this topic is, okay, there's two more things. One is hunger versus appetite. True hunger, most of us don't even feel anymore. True hunger is something that we could have every day, but they describe it in the book as if you feel it in your mouth, it's true hunger. If you think about food and your mouth starts to kind of salivate and stuff, then it's ready for food. But if you're feeling it in your stomach, like, I have a craving for this or I have a craving for that, that's appetite. And our appetites are going to get us into trouble because appetite comes from other psychological things like boredom or depression or habit. All sorts of things can cause it and perpetuate it, but hunger is our natural way. We have to try and get back to the way that the body is supposed to be naturally. So hunger is very important, and sometimes when you feel hunger, you're also thirsty. And that brings me to my very last point, and maybe the most important point, water. Water is super important to drink, and not sugar water like juice or pop or something like that. Like, you need some pure, high quality H2O, as Bobby Boucher would say. And you need a lot of it, 12 cups a day. And water is a crazy thing right now, there's not a lot of clean water. I suggest if you've got a water store near you or a Culligan or something, getting reverse osmosis filtered water, and then you have to re-alkalize it with tea or squeeze a lemon. It doesn't take much lemon, but that's the best for you. And that's still even crazy because they give us so much antibiotics and morphine and things like that. All these pills that we take, they absorb into it, we pee them out. But these filters that we have right now can't filter that out. So, our water quality is really diminishing. There's a great video on this on Spirit Science on YouTube. Spirit Science YouTube channel. It's just called Water. It's like the 30th one. I suggest watching that whole series. I don't know anybody that's watched that whole series and it didn't change their lives for the better. But the water one is particularly interesting. It's really a cool watch. Anyways, we need to drink a lot of water. Even if it's just tap water, we need to drink it. We need to drink, I think 12 cups a day is the recommended amount, 2 to 3 gallons a day to properly irrigate our system. Like I said before, our body has a lot of cells that need these resources, and so if we're not taking enough in, our body's got to skimp, and then parts of our bodies are dehydrated and they don't perform as well and they get angry with us, just like any living organism would when not properly taken care of. So that's pretty much it. I'm just going to take a look at my thing here to, that's everything for today. I hope that this helps you feel a lot better. I hope that you at least try one or two of these things. Don't give up. Don't beat yourself up too bad. If you do give up, just keep the consciousness flowing, keep the stuff going. You'll see the signs, you'll feel the difference, you'll want to keep doing it. Maybe you won't, but whatever. Maybe another one of these videos helps you, and then a year down the road, you decide to do the diet thing and the chewing slowly and then trying to treat your body the natural way that it's designed to work. Until next time, later days, my friends. I love you all.